Hello, welcome back to The Reading Mama. My name is Heather, Mama to 8, and here I share all of the eclectic things I like to read. And I am coming to you again from the closet because we are still in the rental, still waiting for our house to be finished with its major renovations to fix minor problems that should have been done right the first time. But I digress. So today I want to share my July TBR with you, and I was thinking, oh, it's not going to look very big because I've got a few books I want to read, and then the rest is pre-reading for school because we start school at the end of July. And then yeah, that's not even all of them. So let's dive in, and I will go as fast as possible. Let's do books I'm continuing reading. Maybe. I'm going to continue reading Philosophy of Education by Charlotte Mason. This kind of goes through all of her principles and gives a example of her curriculum, and I've read all her other volumes, so I'm hoping to finish this one this year. Also continuing to read For the Family's Sake by Susan Schaefer Macaulay, another Charlotte Mason type thing, but it blends Charlotte Mason and spiritual living and how to raise your family and your home in a way that honors God, and I'm really enjoying it, but it is a slow read. You know, read a chapter, put it down, think about it for a while. I also started Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis, and I'm reading that kind of as I do the June journey with the Inklings from Luminous Libro. I believe it's Kaylee over there is hosting that, and I'm going to be doing it for the whole summer, not just June because I couldn't do it. So I'm going to continue reading this. I got through chapter 1, so I'm it's one that I know is more serious, so I kind of keep putting it off this month, but I got into it yesterday, so I'm hoping to get into it a little more today and hopefully read a few more chapters before the end of the month, but then save the rest for July. And then let's see here, other books I'm going to continue that were part of my June challenge. An Ember in the Ashes. I haven't even started this. It was the June book. Who's doing it? Krista at Books and Jams is doing a read along through the whole series for the summer. So I'm going to read this and hopefully pick up book 2. I'm going to get started on this later today. I have a feeling I'm going to fly through something like that, even though it's a chunky book. And then let's jump into other challenges that I have for myself. I don't think I'm going to do Chronicles of Avonlea with Chantel at Chantel Reads All Day. I need a Prince Edward Island break because I have other things on my mind at the moment. So hopefully I'll revisit this, but I'm not going to do that. Then she had on her June for Read Your Bookshelf Challenge was, what was it? I don't even remember now. It was Bird. And I was going to read Catching Fire, or not Catching Fire. Which one is this? This is the original. Hunger Games. I was going to read that because it has a bird on the cover. I haven't gotten to it. We'll see if I do. But I did read one that had a bird on the cover and it DNF'd. So we'll see. July, her prompt is, and I just looked at this. Oh no, I'm going to have to go check. Okay, and her, never sit down to film without your reading journal. But my prompt for Read Your Bookshelf Challenge by Chantel Reads All Day is Royalty, and so I'm going to continue Narnia with Prince Caspian. I'm hoping to read through all of this before September, but we'll see because I have a lot of other priorities. I turned 40 in September, and this is, I'm reading the whole Narnia series again, is on my 40 before 40. And then because I didn't get to it, it really didn't come in the mail till halfway through the month, so it's really on the mail's fault. But I'm for my 5x5 challenge with Schoolay Sisters. I'm going to read How to Raise a Wild Child. I really would like to finish this before school starts and apply it with my younger kids. My older kids, some of them are lost causes for wild child. But we'll do what I can. Then I have, and I thought I wrote them all down and I didn't. I have some 40 by 40 books that I want to read, which includes this, which is, and then there were none. And frankly, I keep not picking up. I love Agatha Christie, but I feel like this one is going to terrify me. I don't do horror stories. I can do murder mysteries, but I can't do horror stories. And I feel like this one comes really close. And so I keep putting it down because I'm like, I don't think I can read that before bed. Because I'm pretty sure the premise, is that there's several people at this house and then they keep knocking them off one by one. Apparently it was previously called 10 Little Indians. I can see why that was problematic. But yeah, so hopefully I'll get to that this month as well. And then I'm sure there's more on my 40 by 40 list, but one would be Paralandra. I'm almost done with Out of the Silent Planet, which is a reread. And if you don't know, this is C.S. Lewis's first published fiction. Was the space trilogy was Out of the Silent Planet. And knowing that and going into it is a little more helpful, because I don't know, when all you've read of C.S. Lewis is Narnia, and then you picked up Out of the Silent Planet, it didn't do well with me that first read through. And now the second read through, it's going much better. So hopefully I'll get to Paralandra, because I really didn't like it the first time at all. And so Paralandra just sat on my shelf. However, so many people have told me that Out of the Silent Planet and the space trilogy, that Paralandra is their favorite. And so that's why I kept saying, I don't know. And I really don't like leaving things unfinished either. So I gave Out of the Silent Planet another chance. I'm liking it much better this time. I'm in a better headspace for it, I'm guessing. And so hopefully I'll get to Paralandra next month. And then that will be also part of my June journey with the Inklings that Kaylee's doing at Luminous Libro, because it's another Lewis book. And then let's see here. And then I don't remember where this falls on it, but I'm trying to dive into adult Sanderson. I mean, from what I understand, he's not a spicy person, but I just mean that they're written for grown-ups. I've read his ones that are written for YA and younger kids. And so I want to dive into Mistborn and get into my sci-fi, hopefully getting there for Sci-Fi September. But I'm hoping to pick this up and at least start it this next month. That's my goal with that one. I also have one that I had left over for kind of in June that I was going to get, that was about C.S. Lewis and the Journey with the Inklings kind of category, and then also a historical fiction read-along. It's Becoming Mrs. Lewis, and I really do want to read this. As you can see, I picked it up like on a whim. It was on sale. It was cheaper than that at Half Price Books, and I was like, oh, I really want to read it, but I haven't had a chance. So hopefully I'll pick that up. And then I'm trying to work on a DIY degree focusing on nutrition and health, both to encourage myself, but then also to better be informed for all of my children. And so I have, I know I should exercise, but, and so I'm hoping to dive into this. I don't know if I'll finish it. It'll be, this is my DIY degree, if you want to call it that. It's going to be slow going because I have so many other things on my list, but I do want to focus on health. And when I read these things, I make better choices for my own health. So I'm going to read that. And then I'm going to dive into pre-fiction, pre-reading for, not pre-fiction, tired mama. I'm going to be diving into pre-reading for our school year, and a lot of that is reading books that we end up not using, which is a little bit frustrating, but also reading books that I know my kids are going to read, and I want to either mark it or take notes so that I can discuss it with them. And so I have several library books, but then I also have several books that are not even with me, so I could not even begin to show you the full gamut of it. But I'll show you some of the ones that I brought with me while we're here at the rental house. So this is The Star That Always Was, and this is following a French-Canadian, well, they're not Canadian, French Native American family that are Ojibwa during 1914. And I started last night, and so far it's pretty interesting. It says if you're fans of Anne of Green Gables, you love it. I'm not getting those vibes in the first couple chapters, not gonna lie. But it is interesting, and I always love reading things from a Native American perspective. I don't know if the author is Native. I'm gonna have to look that up. Let's see here. Yes, she is. So she's from the Ojibwa family or tribe, and so yeah, family, same thing. And so that is what the perspective is. So I'm excited for that and enjoying it so far. I'll let you know. And then also I'm hoping to read Margaret Patterson Haddock's, and I think Amanda Peterson Haddock's shared this last time. I've never picked up one of her books I didn't like. I picked up some of her books and was like, whoa, that's out there. But I do enjoy her writing, and this is a historical fiction. It's not science fiction, which is what I've normally read from her, or a science historical fiction hybrid, but it's about the shirtwaist factory fire back in, what is it? Is it 1911? Yeah, 1911. And so I'm excited to read that and possibly use that for one of my kids for school for next year when we do historical fiction. This is a book I own that one of my kids is reading, but I would like to pre-read it beforehand. The picture is very graphic novel-y, and I kind of panicked that it was going to be a graphic novel, but it is not. It is just a regular chapter book, and there's only a picture sometimes, like maybe 10 in the whole book. So I'm excited to read that. This is about Desmond Doss, who, if you saw Hacksaw Ridge, he's the Seventh-day Adventist who rescued people from the battle, and I don't even know what it's called, but I'll find out and I'll read it and let you know. Then I have another pre-read that I don't know about. This is called The Enemy's Daughter by Anne Blankman. I love Anne Blankman. I shared about her in my one of my last videos. I loved the Blackbird Girls, which talks about Chernobyl. I liked Prisoner in Fog, but it was a little more spicy than I would like for my high schooler to read. But that was about World War II and somebody who was like in Hitler's family. This one is, if I remember, it's Lusitania. Yeah, Marta and her father are passengers on the Lusitania, desperately trying to get back home to Germany. And so this talks about the Lusitania, and there's a few more books about Lusitania these days, so I've been trying to read those. And then I have The Luminous Life of Lucy Landry, which is also by Anne Rose Johnson, because I was wondering, I was like, those seem very similar because it's also about the Ojibwa tribe and people. So I don't even remember what this one was. This was a pre-read for next year. It doesn't say on here. I feel like this takes place, obviously it's at a lighthouse, but I feel like it takes place in the early 1900s, and so that was one of my pre-reads for my younger kids, and so I was hoping to read those. And then I have a whole bunch of biographies I'm reading for the kids. I have several other historical fictions that I'm reading or at least skimming to read for my kids. Things like Strawberry Girl by Lois Linsky. I don't know that I'm going to read it fully, but I'm going to pre-read it before I hand it off to one of my kids because I need to know there's a few harder topics about things in there. So there's a lot of pre-reading. I also have Prisoners of Geography, which is a reread pre-read. This is an amazing nonfiction book. If you haven't read it, go read it. This is not for kids necessarily. I'm going to use it with my high schooler, but it is an awesome book. I love how he tackles these different topics. And so you'll start each chapter with a map, and then you will read about basically how the lines of that map were created and what things went into it, the political climate, just the different connections. There's a lot of maps in here, but it's very interesting. I wish he would make a newer one, and maybe he has, I don't know. This one was 2016, so it's a little outdated now. Go figure. But it's just interesting because it's the Prisoners of Geography concept is that the countries were formed and their lines created based on the geography of the mountains and the oceans and the rivers, and then that's the things that they battled over to have power over those certain ports and things like that, and how that changed the political climate in relations of different nations. And so this was very good. So I'm going to reread this and take some notes for my high schooler so that I can have her get the most out of it. So yeah, highly recommend that. Oh, and then on the bottom of my stack was one of my other, this is on my 40 by 40. I believe I put it on my 5 by 5 challenge, and it is also part of the Luminous Libro June Journey with the Inklings books. A Hobbit, a Wardrobe, and a Great War. Like I said a million times, we're studying 20th century history next year, so I was already planning to read this because I thought, okay, I don't have a lot about World War I that I know, that I've read about, and so I thought this would be interesting. And so, yeah, I'm excited to do that because it's Tolkien, it's C.S. Lewis, and it's World War I. I mean, it's like, how can you go wrong with that? So I'm very excited to read this one and find out. I don't have it, eventually like to read. There's a similar book, okay, maybe not similar, but it's about Ian Fleming and Roald Dahl and how they were spies during World War II. That is like, I was reading City Spies with my older kids, and this is before I'd finished it, because I finished it this month, maybe, I don't know. But I had started reading it a few months ago. In the very first chapter, they mentioned that Roald Dahl was a spy, like Ian Fleming. And so I immediately stopped reading that book in the middle of the first chapter to go find a book about it. But I had got it from the library and didn't have time to finish it. But it was very interesting because, I mean, I don't know, these like literature greats and how the war affected them. What role they played in the war. Very interesting to me. So that's what I have for June. If you, if you have a question about any of these books, let me know. I I don't even know. It's like overwhelming, especially because clearly I'm not at home and I don't have all my books because apparently this stack of 20 is not enough for me, but it's annoying. So nevertheless, that's what's going on for July. If you have a comment about any of these titles, or if there's some that you're like, just skip it, that's not going to be for you, let me know. And if you made it to the end of this video, could you drop down a sunshine summary emoji below to let me know that you made it to the end? That helps me know who's watching and what's going on. I appreciate it so much, and I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, and have a blessed day.